Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a gold medal edition of the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. I am your host, Andrew Romanella, and we are fired up Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Why, you may ask? Because Team USA lit the lamp late yesterday morning in overtime. New Jersey Devil Jack Hughes brings the United States of America their first gold medal in 46 years. The United States of America hockey team is on top of the world for the first time since the Miracle on Ice in 1980. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest with you, that game was electric. Both sides of the puck were fantastic. Both teams came out flying. The first period was right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook. Then Canada took control. Somehow still the USA held a lead. Canada finally tied it at the end of the second period. And the third period was very much led by the Maple Leaf, but somehow, some way, the game stayed tied. And just like the women, some 72 hours earlier, the gold medal game, USA versus Canada, 1-1 the score, headed to overtime. And in overtime, less than 10 minutes in, Zach Werenski hit Jack Hughes for the game winner. Here's what it looked like. And the United States of America won the gold medal for the third time in the history of USA hockey. And man, where do we even start? You want to get in on the action, the Rome Show 1, Twitter, X, and Instagram. That's the Rome Show, then number 1, youtube.com/the Romanellas, youtube.com/the Romanellas. Hit that subscribe button. And you can comment live on the show and give us your thoughts, facebook.com/the Rome Show. Jack Hughes scores in overtime, 2-1, the victory for Team USA. And for the first time in a long time, the National Hockey League players were involved in the Olympics, and the gold eludes the USA no longer. And truthfully, Jack Hughes said it after the game. He said, Connor Hellebuck, the goaltender for the United States of America, was the best player on the ice by a mile. And it's absolutely true. In this game, Connor Hellebuck saved 41 of 42 shots, had a .976 save percentage, and only allowed 1 goal. But that was not just the story. Because it wasn't just making saves, it was making saves like the picture you see on your screen, where Toes had all but a walk-in goal. Toes had all but an empty netter goal, a goal that a professional hockey player, one of the best in the world, if you give him that opportunity, he scores 9.9, not 9 out of, 9.9. out of 10 times. And somehow, some way, the stick of Connor Hellebuck stops this puck, redirects it. It goes out of the net, and this was one of many unbelievable saves by the United States of America goaltender. And the first goalie to win a gold medal for this team since Jim Craig in 1980, Connor Hellebuck, who is the best goaltender in the world, has been the best goalie in the National Hockey League on the world stage, just cemented himself as the greatest goaltender in the world. And we knew going into this tournament, Rome Show Pod, Rocky Romanella discussed this when he was on the Rome Show last week. We knew going into this tournament that the one advantage we could guarantee from the Americans was the goaltending. We talked about going into this tournament how there may be other areas of the rink, including captain v. captain, if this matchup hit, that we felt like Canada could have the advantage. But there was one place going into this game, everybody knew the goaltending advantage lies with the United States of America. And as hockey goes, as most sports with a goaltender go, as good as that goaltender is as far as your team is going to go in a specific tournament. And when it came down to this gold medal game, when it came down to the opportunity for Team USA to win a gold medal, it was only Connor Hellebuck that was the difference. Only. And Helly, pun intended, did a helly of a job being that final line of defense for Team USA. And that's not to say on the other side for Team Canada, Jordan Binnington didn't have a great game. Here were the statistics on this contest. 42 total shots for Team Canada, 28 for the United States of America. Slot shots, and you can see on the diagram, thank you to hockeystats.com. You can see on the diagram they gave you shot slots and inner slot shots, okay? And it's just going to give you an idea. USA in blue and Canada in red. Just going to give you an idea of where the majority of the shots for each club came from. And when you look at the crease of Team USA on the right side of your screen, Connor Hellebuck was dealing with some traffic, was dealing with some pressure. At one point, Charlie McAvoy, I think, was in the net, like playing goalie with Hellebuck to make sure a puck didn't go in the net. That's how much traffic down low Team Canada had. But when you really do break it down, okay, Jack Hughes scores from the slot. Boldy, first goal of the game. Filthy, by the way. Unbelievable move. Boldy scores from right in front of the net because he was on a semi-breakaway that he created for himself. It's not about how many. It's about the quality of. And the two shots that Team USA needed to win this hockey game were in quality scoring opportunities. And though Team Canada, I would say, controlled 65 to 70% of the play, especially in the second and third period. The first period, I think, was very much back and forth. First 5 minutes went to the Team USA. Second 5 went to Canada. Third 5 kind of was a mix, and the back end 5 went back to Canada. The second and third period, though, a lot of things stated Canada had the advantage. First and foremost, they outshot Team USA in those two periods alone by 15. 33 total shots in the back end two periods comparative to Team USA's 18. Okay? For reference point, Team USA had 9 shots in the first period. So they had half of their shots in the first period. Only 9 combined through the next 2. That shows some dominance and puck control from Team Canada. However, again, It does not matter about the onslaught of it. It matters if you execute. Connor McDavid had a breakaway, couldn't score. Nathan McKinnon had an empty net, couldn't score. We saw the Toes empty net. He couldn't score. And you could call that luck all you want, or you could call it not executing under pressure. Either one. We talked about this last week. And the irony of what we talked about last week was the fact that we felt like, and I say we as in I am the Rome Show. I felt like we see a lot of Team USA athletes falter negatively at the Olympic Games because we start putting pressure on them that they've never had. Because our country cares about football, then college football, then college basketball, then the playoffs in the NBA, then the playoffs in Major League Baseball, then the playoffs in the National Hockey League, then maybe the FIFA World Cup, though we're not going to win on the men's side and the women's side, we have a real chance. Then we get to hockey. Then we get to caring about the Winter Olympic sports. Then we get to caring about skiing and all of those other things. And now all of a sudden, this speed skater, figure skater, alpine downhill skier, who really, obviously he's been known on the world stage, and obviously there's pressure there. You're competing against the best in the world. You're not known by everyone in the United States of America. Well, now all of a sudden you're on a Google commercial. Everyone's talking about you're the greatest figure skater in the world, and that's a different level of pressure. You are now all of a sudden for a few months a primetime, feels like LeBron James athlete, and that changes things. So the irony of talking about some of that pressure is the fact that Team USA actually won the most amount of gold medals in the history of the Winter Olympic Games this year with 12. Finished with the most total medals USA's ever had. So though the pressure showed up in some areas, the pressure in the moment of Team USA hockey on both sides, by the way, 2-1 OT victory for the women, 2-1 OT victory for the men. And for the first time, by the way, in International Hockey League history, the women for the United States and the men for the United States are both the defending World Cup champions and defending Olympic champions. The last 4 gold medals have gone to USA hockey, and that means something. That means something. It's beyond just winning the gold medal in 2026. It truly is. It is about the next 25 years of USA hockey. That's what the 1980 Miracle on Ice did. That's what Micah Rooney and Micah Ruzioni and the boys did, winning the gold 46 years ago. They inspired an entire generation of hockey players that have taken the game to an entirely nother level. We'll break that down on the backside of the break to finish our stat-filled first half. By the way, the United States of America had to kill off 18 penalty kills during their time in Milan Cortina, and they killed off every single one of them. 18 for 18 on the penalty kill during the Olympic Games, including a massive 5-on-3 during the gold medal game. Unbelievable stuff. Here is a quote from Jack Hughes that I thought so beautifully represented the moment, the feeling, and was said the right way. This is all about our country. I love the USA. I love my teammates. I'm so proud to be an American today. That's just a ballsy, gutsy win. That's American hockey right there. Gotta love it. You have to love that type of energy from Jack Hughes. You have to love that game from the United States of America. And you have to love waking up this morning knowing that USA is on top. When we come back, we talk about the impact that the Olympics have on young athletes and sport in general. We'll also give you the final medal count and the earnings of each USA athlete who wins a medal. Very interesting. A full closing of the Olympic ceremonies here. I guess we should call it our closing ceremonies here on the Rome Show. Back after this commercial break.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Yeah, the Rome Show. Monday, February 23rd, 2026, 7:28. Very, very snowy state of New Jersey. I got to be honest with the people. I am over the snow. Like, come on, man. I'm over it. It's like every other week I wake up, I go to sleep. Obviously, it's cold out. And then I wake up and it's white. I don't understand. Like, and dumping snow, like, not like, oh, we'll get an inch here, we'll get an inch there. It's like, nah, we're going to dump 10 to 12 inches on your face. And then you're not going to get snow for like a week or two. And then here's another 10 to 12 inches. It's like, what? And you know what I was thinking about as I was drinking my coffee before the show? I was staring out the sliding door at my house. And when you're at my condo and you look out the glass door, you're looking at trees and like a fence and like what looks like a miniature kind of pondish thing. It's very nature filled. And I'm looking out there and I'm saying to myself, oh, it is unbelievable that we are in an era of global warming. They call it global warming. Yet here I am, really cold, and it's snowing outside. So, anyone that's smarter than me, could you please reach out? The Romanellas on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. The Rome Show 1, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook.com/The Rome Show. Why is it global warming if to me my globe feels colder? It's supposed to be, no, shouldn't it be like globally warming the world? I don't know. And listen, you can tell me I'm an idiot. I'm not a science guy. I'm just saying. And by the way, let's the stupid groundhog thing. I'm over it. And he might have been right. I don't even know. I don't even care. It just bothers me that I saw a tweet yesterday and it was like, so how we feeling about Phil? You think he was right? It's like, dude, what? Are we serious? Anyways, that's my tirade on snow because I cannot keep looking out the window and seeing the snow. It's less about being a baseball coach anymore and more about like, what is going on? It's been 3.5 months, Mother Nature. This is the Rome Show for the people begging you to stop. Here's the final medal count from the 2026 Olympics. And I put this one up because I thought this was the coolest one. Now, it is not fully updated with the gold medal from the United States men's hockey team yesterday. So when you look at this total, the full count's actually going to be 31 for the United States of America and 12 gold medals. But I found this one yesterday morning while I was scrolling through the social media sphere in between the second and third period of the gold medal game. And one, it states the medal count. Okay. Like I said, add one to gold for USA, add one total to USA. But what it really has is the greatest Winter Olympian of all time, Johannes Hofstlat Klæbo, who won, as you can see there, his 6th gold medal of the Winter Olympics. The first time that's ever been done. Okay. 6 gold medals in the same Winter Olympics. He now has 11 gold medals all time. Okay. And we talked about Johannes a few weeks ago, actually, when the Olympic Games first started, and he had just broken the record for the most Olympic golds of all time. If you tally Klæbo and the top 10 countries comparative in terms of gold medals, he would be tied for 6th place with Germany, Switzerland, Sweden. He's tied for 6th place for most gold medals of any country, let alone human being, at the Winter Olympics. So first and foremost, congratulations to Johannes Hofstlat Klæbo and the Norwegian team, which for the last 2 Olympics has led the way with gold medals. This year with 40 total medals for Norway. United States in second with their most medals ever, 31, most golds ever at 12. And Italy also with the most amount of winter medals ever, and breaking the record that they previously held from 1994, which I believe was 28 or 29. So that's your final medal count at the 2026 Milan Cortina Games. However, Italy is not over, ladies and gentlemen, okay? The Paralympics start on March 6th and are going to be a lot of fun to watch. So if you were just getting fired up, like, oh man, this thing's already over, I feel like it just got started for me. Don't you worry, because in roughly a week and a half, on March 6th, the Paralympics will start in Milan Cortina. So get fired up for that to continue rooting on Team USA. Some really cool other stuff that came out of the gold medal from the United States men's hockey team yesterday. I do not know how many people out there know the sad story of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother's passing in August of 2024. They were struck by a truck in South Jersey on a bike ride. Johnny Gaudreau, one of the best players in the National Hockey League, would undoubtedly be on this Team USA team that won the gold medal. Since his passing in late 2024, Team USA and some of his best friends have brought the Johnny Gaudreau 13 jersey everywhere. They hung it in the locker room for the World Championships last year, with which they won gold. They hung it in the locker room for the entirety of this tournament, with which they won gold. And after the gold medal, when all the dust is settling from receiving your gold medal and all the excitement, the team gets together to take their championship picture. And 2 dudes head to the crowd to grab Johnny Gaudreau's daughter and Johnny Jr., his son, whose 2nd birthday it was, to bring them into the Team USA picture. And I truly believe this is the best thing I saw, maybe not all weekend so far to this point this year. The Gaudreau family was there, his mom and dad, his wife Meredith, and Team USA has shown nothing but love and support for the Gaudreau family. The hockey community, both nationally and internationally, have shown fantastic support. And I just feel like Johnny Gaudreau, his family, his loved ones, and everybody tied and associated to that tragic loss of him and his brother deserve their praise for their support and their handling of this situation. And though those 2 children would do anything, I'm sure, to grow up with their father for the rest of their life, The silver lining is going to be they're about to have 30 fathers that are going to make sure that family is taken care of and loved, and they have family in United States hockey. Kudos to the players and the families of Team USA for showing that love. The final Olympic awards. I'm just so used to it being like an all-star or an all-NBA or whatever scenario. My bad. The Olympic Player Awards were as this. Best goalie, rightfully so, Connor Hellebuck. Best defender, Quinn Hughes. And how cool is that? Quinn Hughes scores the overtime game winner versus Sweden in the quarterfinals. And his younger brother, Jack, scores the gold medal game winner in overtime. And their mother was on the staff for the Team USA women's team, which was phenomenal. So how about the Hughes impact on the gold medals during this tournament? Connor McDavid, the best forward / most valuable player. Wild how many most valuable players Connor McDavid gets in losing fashion. That shows how great he is, but unfortunate his luck on the other side. And then the all-star team, as they call it, didn't mess that one up, is Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, Jorah Slavkovsky, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, and Connor Hellebuck. Those are who receives the nod as the best Olympians in the men's hockey tournament. If you were wondering what Team USA athletes receive when they win a medal, it is a sliding scale, $37,500 for every gold medal won, $22,500 for every silver, and $15,000 for every bronze. Now, I'm only allowed to upload a certain amount of pictures on my streaming platform, and I maxed out my 10 today because of how much I wanted to put up on the screen based on this Olympic game being electric. But you'd be surprised. There are some countries that, one, don't give their athletes anything for winning a medal, which is a joke, in my opinion. And then there are some countries, even on this screen alone, you see Belgium gives like $59,000. Some countries are giving out $200,000, $300,000 to their athletes for winning. I do believe we as the United States of America should do a little bit better job of treating our USA athletes, especially financially. I mean, hell, people, they're representing our country. And when they win, they show this unbelievable pride in our country. They bring our country pride. Everyone at home's freaking out over sports they've never watched or cared about because it's their country. So I don't know if $33,500 is cutting it for somebody that puts that much effort and time in to win the United States of America a gold medal. But that's a whole nother aside. Because truly, and again, we've been going there the last few weeks, so today we go back. You know what grinds my gears? I'll tell you what grinds my gears. The fact that team sport coaches do not receive a medal when their team wins a medal. What am I talking about? The fact that both the United States of America coaching staffs and obviously Canada and Finland and Czechia and Women's Canada, obviously all of those staffs as well. But none of the coaches on any of the team sports medal winning teams receive a medal. To me, that's ridiculous. Okay. As the coach of a 25-person team, you are legitimately making the decisions for this team. Who starts, who's on what line, who's playing goalie that day, who you got to put out for a power play, who you got to put out for a penalty kill, and everything in between. And you're going to tell me that the sport coach doesn't get a medal for leading his team to victory? So what really grinds my gears at the end of the 2026 Olympic Games in Italy is that there is no medal awarded to the team sport coach, at least the head coach, who leads his team to a medal. That's got to change. Olympic Committee, as we get ready for France in 2030. And you know what? This is probably a thing on both sides. As we get ready for LA 2028 and the Summer Olympics, that has to change. And I would go as far as saying a coach for each individual person should also get a medal. They're coaches for a reason. They deserve the praise as much as the athlete. Of course, the athlete's performing. Of course, the team's winning the game. But the coach is there making them better, being their psychiatrist when they're not doing very well, changing things that need to be changed. That is wrong. That is ridiculous. And let's be serious. We're not talking about 100% gold medals here. Come on. We are not talking about gold, silver, and bronze that is breaking the bank, okay? This isn't 1920. This isn't the Olympic Games of when you actually won gold. You literally won like life-changing gold because the gold in your hand was life-changing. This is 2026 gold. I've been reading some stuff on the medals. Come on now. We understand that they don't cost as much to make anymore. Let's start handing out some medals to the coach. You know, let's start handing out medals to, and let the athlete decide in an individual sport. Like if I'm a figure skater and I don't believe my coach or I don't have a coach has really helped me, fine. When you submit into the Olympics, you state you get up to 3 coaching medals. Who are the names of the coaches you'd want to give a medal if you win, right? How about for Team USA, it's, hey, you get your top 4 coaches get a medal. The head coach and the 3 assistants, whatever. I don't expect them to give 39 medals to the entire staff. Though, I mean, again, let's be serious. I think it's viable. But I think that should be the case. If you're an individual sport person, you're allowed 1 or 2 coaches to receive a medal or not. Your choice. But if you're a team sport coach, you win that gold, you win silver, you win bronze, you deserve a medal. You put all of the work in with the players to win that prize. Why that's not a thing is asinine. So that is what really grinds my gears coming out of the 2026 Olympics. I am truly a fan of the Olympic Games. I truly am looking forward to the Summer Games in 2028. I love when sport brings countries together. I love in general when sport brings people together. The Olympics, and Mike Tirico said it in his closing after the men's game yesterday morning. The Olympics brings out the best in people. And obviously, performance of the worst. But the sacrifices it takes to get there, the pride that people have representing their country, the cool stories that come out of comebacks or unbelievable moments that you never expected could happen. The Olympics brings dreams to life. You're an 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid. You're the 2026 USA men's, USA women's hockey team that watched Disney make a movie 20 years ago about the gold medal game in 1980, and that changed your life. You're a young figure skater who watched Alyssa Liu change the game in her own way. You're one of those young fans seeing a sport that you love that maybe isn't a traditional basketball or baseball or football. You're seeing stuff that you've never seen before. Downhill one-person bobsleds. And that is the vehicle to show you that stuff is possible. That's the vehicle for you to believe in yourself. That's the vehicle for you as a human being, as a young person, to say, I can go do something like that. I can believe in myself like that. I can accomplish that. And if you're anyone out there with a young person in your life, whether that is your own child, somebody else's, or your opportunity like myself to mentor, continue to remind people they can. Because the belief in oneself is an unbelievable superpower. If someone believes they're good enough, if someone believes that you have their back, that you have confidence in them, that people support them, it is crazy what they can accomplish. And we learned that over the last 2 weeks from our Team USA athletes. I've never been more proud to be an American, even though this is probably the hardest time in the history of our country to be an American. For at least the last 14 days, it was beautiful to watch in the sports world our country come together, love on athletes, love on sports that aren't traditional, and just be there to support and chant USA, USA, and be a proud American. Thank you for tuning into the Rome Show today on a Golden Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Golden Monday. What a 2 weeks for Team USA. Congratulations to men's and women's hockey for doing something that's never been done before. Congratulations to all the athletes from Team USA and their representation of our country. Congratulations to Team USA as a whole for having a record-breaking Winter Olympics. I'm Andrew Romanella. This is The Rome Show. Remember to follow us on YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, and Facebook. Until tomorrow, you have an electric Monday. Stay warm if you're in the Northeast. Peace.
Thank you for listening.